Welcome. We are back for the male reproductive system anatomy edition. So for this, we are going through mainly just the structures. If we have time for the functions, cool. We'll get there. Okay, so we're beginning towards the top. Even if this is your anatomy, if you are male and you have this anatomy, please still listen because I guarantee you don't know everything about your own anatomy. And if you're female, there's no way that you know everything about this anatomy unless you've studied it in another class. So please just listen. When we get to female anatomy, I promise you, if you're female, there's no way that you just know everything there is to know. I promise you that. And if you're male, you need to know. You need to know your own anatomy and you need to know female anatomy. Females, you need to know your own anatomy and you need to understand male anatomy. We are in this together. Okay, let's go on. So, let's begin. Where should we begin? I guess the top works. Okay. So these tubes right there, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. Those are going to be your vas deferens, and these are your sperm ducts. Okay, so their whole goal is to carry sperm. Here's your bladder. Look how much room you guys have for a bladder. That has to be so nice. When we get to female anatomy, you will see how squished we are for bladder room, and thus you will hear my rant about road trips. Okay, so here's your bladder. A bladder is just a holding cell for urine, okay? And your urine will travel down this tubie, and it will go through your urethra and ultimately out the end of your penis, okay? You only have one tube for urine and for sperm to be excreted out of your body, and so the deal is that urine and sperm will ultimately travel the same path to get out of your body. Okay, in the front you have a pubic bone, something to provide structure and protection to your organs. Okay, so we go down, you have erectile tissue, and ultimately you have your penis, which is your external sexual organ. And then your urethra, I already talked about. You've got your spongy tissue, and then some of you have foreskin and some of you don't. That has to do with circumcision and not circumcision. Okay, here we go. Seminal vesicle. We'll get to the function of these in a second. Just focus on anatomy right now. So seminal vesicle is here, and then your prostate is this thing that's shaded green right now that we'll talk about in a second. It's very important. And then you have your Cowper's gland, and then ultimately your anus is back here. As we travel downward, you will have your epididymis, which is shaded yellow here. You will have a testis, which is what we would refer to as a singular testicle, is actually called a testis, is. And then you have a scrotum, and your scrotum is just the skin that holds all of this together. Okay, so let's go down here. All right, so let's talk about all these glands, because you know in biology you cannot get away from all the glands. There's glands for days. All right, a testis with a seminiferous tubule. Ooh. All right, so what's it for? It's for spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis is the process of making sperm via meiosis. Spermatogenesis actually takes about 60 days. So one sperm makes 4 sperm, and those 4 sperm each make 4 sperm out of themselves, which will be 16 sperm. And so this continues, but each time it goes from 1 to 4 takes 60 days. Now, luckily, you have tons of these little swimmers, okay? But it does take 60 days to make each new round of sperm. And ultimately, sperm can die. Sperm can only really live for so long. And so thus the constant flow. Okay, and testosterone secretion. All right. Collecting ducts. Yes, this transports sperm. Ta-da! Your epididymis, if we need to go back up here. Okay, so the yellow, your epididymis. What's the point? It's there so that your sperm can mature and transport your sperm for ejaculation. So it just kind of houses it and lets it grow up a little bit. All right, your vas deferens are there to transport sperm at ejaculation. So if we go back up, you can see that your vas deferens are these giant tubes. Do you see these giant tubes up here that are so long? They go all the way from your testis, right? And then back around and connect around by your prostate and your seminal vesicle. Okay, that sort of makes sense that your seminal vesicle secretes. Okay, so your vas deferens are just a superhighway for sperm. Your seminal vesicles, which I just showed you, are part of an exocrine gland. Ding, ding. We've heard about this before. And the whole point is that they give a fluid so that your sperm can swim. Okay, because your sperm has to be within a fluid environment. It has to be within a liquid environment. And so it's interesting. Your sperm, as far as I know, does not have mitochondria that I could find. That doesn't necessarily, well, I guess it could have mitochondria. Does sperm have mitochondria? We need to Google this. I'm pausing and Googling. Okay, I'm back. Turns out sperm do have some mitochondria, which helps it power the actual swimming motion. It doesn't contribute those to the egg, really. It just contributes the DNA. But anyway, so it's a good thing that you have sugars because sugars are going to help you make ATP, which is going to help your swimmers. All right, prostate gland. What does that prostate do anyway? First of all, let's go back up so you can see the prostate. So the prostate is this little Granny Smith apple looking thing right there. Okay, so it's another exocrine gland, right? And it's got a very special job. Its special job is it secretes a solution, okay, to try to neutralize the pH of both urine and the vagina. And the point is that the vagina can be a place where it's its own self-cleaning oven, if you will. When we get to the vagina, I'll try to explain that. But basically, in order for the vagina to not reject the sperm, it kind of needs to, the prostate needs to create this solution to neutralize that pH so that it's more accepting. Okay, let's see here. Cowper's gland. So it's another exocrine gland, okay? And its whole point is to try to flush out urine. That's it. Just trying to flush out urine. If you want to see where the Cowper's gland is. Okay, so it's this little tiny dot back here. And the goal is like, hey, we need to get rid of that urine. We have other jobs to do. Okay. So it's just trying to get out that urine. Your urethra is there to get out urine and to get out sperm. It cannot do both at the same time. You get one or the other, and that's it. That's all you got, okay? Those are your choices. And then your penis is your actual reproductive organ, and it's there to act, honestly, just as a vesicle. It's just there as like a little vehicle to get sperm from one place to the other, and it's the shape for each organism is based off of the partner shape, like a puzzle piece. And so you would not be shaped this way if both genders were not shaped in a complementary fashion. Does that make sense? So there's some organisms whose reproductive organs are corkscrew shaped, like they're actually spiraled. Yeah, and so there's an organism whose penis or reproductive limb actually separates from the body and can swim by itself until it runs into a female, and then it will it follows pheromones, and so then it will impregnate her, and then like I don't know if it just like swims back and it's like, hey, back, or like it's crazy. The animal kingdom is crazy. Okay, so let's stop here for right now, and I'll pick back up with another video.